Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another video. There's another paid request for... I forget what name he wanted me to use. Because he gave me a name, but then I think he said another... I want to make sure I don't screw it up, so I'll just say from a... I don't want to screw it up. Maybe some people don't want their real name shown, or they want a different name shown. I wasn't sure which it was. Because he said one name, but I'm like, I think he said... Anyway, going off tangent. But a paid request from him, if you're watching, thank you so much. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, re-reviews, randomness, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. I know, a minute, I haven't even gotten to the movie. But Kong Godfathers is the movie we're talking about today. And this film was interesting in the fact of it's actually one of the last Shaw Brothers movies. It came out in 1985, and I think Shaw Brothers were pretty much done by 86. And if you know martial arts, kung fu, you definitely know the Shaw Brothers and their history going way back to the days of Bruce Lee and all these other kung fu films in the 70s. And there's some martial arts in this, some pretty decent stuff, but it's more... I want to say they're heroic bloodshed, but that may make people think of John Woo, and it's... Imagine moments of that, but instead of guns, it's with machetes. Because this might be called the Machete Massacre, or Machete Hong Kong Massacre, or something. It's a story that you've seen done plenty of times before, where you have a guy who's retired, he was in prison, he's away from the triad, he wants to raise his daughter, but he still has friends and people who believe close to him, like family, in the triad. And he just pulled back into it because his old boss gets killed and he wants revenge for that old boss. So he gets together with two other guys who are friends of his who are in the... One is still in the triad, and he's known as the playboy, hooking up with a lot of women. The other is actually a cop, a sergeant, and he was a former triad. So the three of them get together, and they want to get revenge on the bad guys who killed their boss. Not only their boss, but a lot of other people. And it's one of those things where the acting, I don't have much problem. I thought the first half of the movie was a bit sluggish in pacing, because other than little bits here and there, there's not a whole lot of action in the first half. It's mainly during the second half. And for heroic bloodshed type of movies, I've seen ones I've enjoyed more, whether it be John Woo films like Hard Boiled, A Better Tomorrow 2, The Killer. But I don't know, the film I remember, or I kept thinking the most, was Bullet in the Head. I don't know why, because the plots are not the same. Maybe because that also involved three friends that go on this journey with a lot of bloodshed and mayhem. Only that one is John Woo, much more click, click, bang, bang style. But that one I enjoyed much more. I got much more satisfaction out of it. It's grim, but at the same time, the ending was somewhat satisfying. And it dealt with the grimness, but at the same time, it was thrilling. And I felt the pacing was better. I got just much more thrust into the movie compared to this one. It does have some crazy moments that made you go, oh shit. It does have a crazy finale where our three leads have machetes and they go into this investment office that's part of this ball, and there's a ton of security guards there's with the bad guys, and they just clean the house, blood getting all over the walls, ceiling, paint the walls red type of mayhem. It's a pretty nihilistic movie. If you're not into that, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't blame you, because I'm not... I have to be in the right mood, or... Like Seven is a nihilistic movie, but I do enjoy that movie. The lead actors I don't recognize, but the guy who plays their boss, I do recognize, because he was Han, the bad guy, in Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon. So it's interesting. He was the head bad guy boss there, and here he's more of the friendly boss who these three care for and have a history with. And he's the one that gets killed, and our three want revenge. And the first half is a bit of a build-up. Again, our lead character, frustrations he has with his daughter. Again, having got out of prison, trying to make ends meet. And then you have the playboy that he gets into fights here and there. We see one fairly early on. And you have one who's a cop, who's a sergeant. And kind of a nice, you don't quite know what's happening because he has a gun on them, and you think, okay, the jig is up. But then they start playing around with each other. You realize the cop used to be with the Triads, his buddies with our other two leads. Again, because I've seen this quite a few times before, and it just felt familiar. I wasn't as invested in the first half as maybe other people are. And I've seen other movies that, granted, yes, are very familiar, but either I get invested with their liking the actor in particular, or something about their personality really engaging me to get invested with the characters. Here, I was at best, kind of nonchalant and watching it. And like I say, it's not a whole lot of action until the shit hits the fan. And again, the spoilers. Look at the title, Kong Godfather. If you want to look up a trailer, feel free. If you don't, you want to just check it out without me spoiling anything else, feel free. Starting now, spoilers. The bad guy gets in touch with the second command, who's this Weasley chicken shit type of character, a bit overweight with glasses. Again, when you look at the demeanor of this character, you see where it's going. And that's what I mean by it feels familiar. And he's like, okay, you know this guy's going to turn on his boss. He's the chicken shit type of delight. And he is. And he turns on his boss along with others. And not only do they fuck up Han, I forget the actor's name, Han from Enter the Dragon, they fuck up everybody in this house. I mean, there's a little kid. This guy puts him in a fucking backbreaker and throws him out the fucking window. Now, I've seen worse, because I've seen Rambo 4. And if you've seen Rambo 4, you know what I'm talking about. Those little kids getting bayonets in their stomach and thrown into fires. So, I mean, I've seen crazier than that. But it was still pretty damn crazy. And everyone gets killed. It's definitely not a film that shies away from that, shies away from the violence. Nothing to the point of tons of eating gore, detailed effects, none of that, but definitely a bit of bloodshed there. I mean, one thing leads to another. These three find out also the lead guy's daughter's been kidnapped, and they want revenge on that. They get attacked from time to time. At one point, you have this kind of quirky scene where you have, I believe, a German Shepherd who's one of the guys' dogs in a cage, and there's another dog that's much smaller that goes up and bites the rope and lets the bigger dog out, and it helps our lead character. But then the bad guys kill that dog. Now, granted, you hear it off screen and you see the body later, but this way it does have this grim feel to it. And as you watch it, I kind of figured what would happen at the end, and I was proven fairly right on that. It just has that, when you watch a movie, it has a grim demeanor, and you just know things are not going to end the best for everybody. That happens quite a few times in these type of Hong Kong films. Not all the time, but a decent amount. And this is one of them. I mean, the movie really came alive for me. Either that one scene I talked about where, damn, they did that to little kid, just backbreaker, fuck you, threw him like a football. So, boom. Or the finale, which is the last 25 minutes, where it's just, like I said, a fucking machete massacre. It's just in this ball section, and the three have machetes and ricochet off the wall, y'all. These are the point where arms get cut off, shoulder stabs in the shoulder, throat slits. going all off crazy. You want to see some machete mayhem, this is a movie for you. And even when they get through it, and this is super spoilers, they get through all that, there's bound the bad guys, and I could even say it's ballsy, where you don't know who's going to survive, and you'd have people die, and you're like, oh shit, I didn't see that coming. Like they're in the middle of fighting in this office, and furniture's being thrown about, and then someone jumps and stabs one of our three guys right in the stomach. And that's just how it is. Nothing like big, dramatic, no. Just jump, stab guy in the stomach, guy yells for his friend, starts fighting the other guy. And the one who gets stabbed is the sergeant character. And talk about the ending, talk about being grim. Super, super spoilers. What happens at the end is the lead guy and the playboy, and then there's the bad guy and the lead guy's daughter. The playboy, there's an interesting scene that I did like, and I kind of wish that was done earlier to see more of that shape into something potentially even more interesting. And there's a bit that he's like so crazy and fighting, he almost kills one of his buddies. And the lead guy's like, no, wait, it's me. And the guy like hesitates, and it's like takes him seemingly forever to snap out of it. That would have been nice to see earlier, and maybe go on an arc similar to, if you remember Red Dawn with C. Thomas Howell, where it got to a point that he was just so gung-ho and cold and not giving a shit, which then led to his downfall at the end. Wolverines! Maybe we could have seen that, where it's the fun playboy, and then the slow, like in the middle, maybe have that happen, and you see he's less friendly with the girls, the ladies, and this arc of him being more cold, more distant, more emotionally cut off, more angry, more bloodthirsty, and that maybe leads to his downfall. So you see this playful playboy type of character to this. Maybe that was his intention, but I think a bit more could have been done with that if that was done earlier. But he tries to kill the bad guy, and he gets shot and killed. So it's the lead guy, the bad guy, and the daughter. The daughter tries to run for it. She gets killed. The lead guy runs for it. Some cops come in, shoot the shit out of him. But then he crawls over, kills the bad guy, machete right to the neck. End of movie. So it's definitely a grim, nihilistic ending where no one survives. Everybody dead. Cue the song from the Dawn of the Dead remake. All the people that died. All my friends, they have died. It's not a bad looking movie. It has a bit of that Shaw Brothers energy. I guess when they were nearing the end, they wanted to do a bit of go for broke in terms of a bit of carnage. I just wish there was more of that in the first half of the film. I get that they were building up character, but even then it's like, I still prefer the characters in Bull in the Head, or I still prefer the characters in Hard Boiled and other stuff, as well as they just give me much more entertainment, much more action, much more excitement. They also have thrilling endings, but also a personal taste of an ending. I can't help it, I'm much more of a happy-go-lucky, loving a happy ending. Not that kind of happy ending, but, I like that too, but, other happy endings as well. That's not always the case. John Carpenter's The Thing, Seven. There are exceptions, like any other thing, and I don't hate the film. I don't think it was an awful film. I say, if you like Hong Kong movies that get pretty bloody, if you want to see a crazy machete massacre, I'm not trying to be any more detailed, so I don't give that part away for people who want to see this. Be my guest. If you want to see sort of the last breaths of the Shaw Brothers production, you feel free, wherever you want to find this to watch. Be my guest. Again, I just felt the pacing in the first half was a bit sluggish. some development like the Playboy, I wish that could have been pushed earlier with have a arc similar to Sea Town Sound Red Dawn, the original. I think that would have made that character more interesting. Even the lead, like, all I know really about the lead is that he has frustration with his daughter, and that's about it, at least for me. Like I said, I keep thinking Bull in the Head, that dealt with three friends. I thought they did a better job developing those characters and the backstory, their history, and the trials and tribulations, and leading to the finale, which felt more heartbreaking in a weird way. But at the same time, it's grim, but it. I don't want to spoil that movie. It did enough stuff that it was still satisfying. John Woo's Bull in the Head. This, but that's more personal taste. That's not the movie being bad or anything. And yeah, I don't think it's a bad film. Like I said, the plot's familiar and you've seen this type of film before, but if you've seen this type of film before and you want to see them all, why not give it a look? Why not? I mean, there's much worse movies out there, too. At the very least, I'm glad I saw the Big Machete Massacre type of finale, which was pretty crazy and not normal, which is a good thing. It made at least a bit of a distinct impression. So with that said, thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.